Oh, sorry guys, didn't know you was there. Are you a motorcycle camping coffee connoisseur? That's hard to say, believe me. Just going to talk to you about a few options regarding coffee when you're traveling, and you know the best things. I mean, with me, I like a nice strong black, no sugar coffee, and yeah, let's talk about it. First up, g'day guys, Andy Thomas from Wolf on the Run. Hope you've all had a good week this week. Yeah, talking about coffee. There's a lot of products out there. There's the Nano Press, Aero Press, a lot of facilities for small compact items. I do carry just a standard little 1 cup French press. It's ideal for me. It's $10. I mean, the Nano Press I think was about 90. The Aero Press probably about the same, $100. $10 does exactly the same thing. I know it's glass, but for $10, if you break it, you buy a new one. Alright, let's talk to you about different types of coffee. Alright guys, so you got bog standard instant coffee. This is Moccona. You got Nescafe, you got other different types, but that's just a ground and freeze dried, basically instant coffee. Stick down your hot water. My tip: put the coffee into the cup, pour the water onto the back of the spoon, dribble it on first, because if you put it straight onto the coffee, you burn the coffee, and you can actually taste. I had a competition with my friends, they didn't believe me. Jimmy and Trevor, if you're watching, I says, can you pour the water over the back of the spoon? And they says, you're taking the mick, you're taking the pee. And I went, no, seriously, I can tell the difference if you just pour the water straight onto the coffee or whether you pour it over the back of the spoon. And they went, no, don't believe you. So they did 2 identical cups. One they poured the coffee straight over, and the other one they poured it over the back of the spoon, and they gave it to me and says, tell us which one. And I could tell which one was actually burned. See, actually, you can actually burn the coffee. So since that day, thank you very much, boys. They do pour the water over the back of the spoon for me to enjoy my coffee. But that's with all coffees. That's if you boil the kettle up and pour it straight on. Instant boiling water onto it will burn your coffee. The other thing I like is a coffee bag. This is basically a ground coffee beans inside a bag. I'll open this up so you can see it. And they're nice individual sealed units. Just 1 coffee bag, drop that in, and I leave that in the cup until I've finished, and I'll throw it away. Sometimes I suck the tea bag, then I suck the coffee bag. I love coffee, as you can tell. So that's an Italian espresso. There is different types. So basically that's a ground coffee in there, and the bag is the actual filter unit. So that's a nice little drink, that's a good drink. They work out about 50 cents a bag, I believe, if I remember rightly. The other thing is beans, which is I'm going to come to on a moment and tell you a little story. That's proper beans, that's coffee beans, roasted. And then this is what I carry, which is those beans that I've ground up at home already. I do like the Italian espresso coffee, it's nice and strong. Yeah, just ground beans, already ground. So the story is, with the coffee beans, what's it look like? Yeah, rabbit shit, lamb shit, pig shit. Well, my daughter-in-law's father went to Vietnam, and he went to this place where they make this exceptional coffee. The coffee beans get eaten by a cat. This rare cat then shits them out the other end. They collect them, and that is a really expensive coffee. And Glenn, thanks very much, buddy, bought some back, and he says, Andy, you love your coffee, try these. So I did. I took them with me on a camping trip. Took the beans, he vacuum sealed some of the beans for me, and I took them on a camping trip. And I thought, oh yeah, we'll try these. I get the boys to try them. And obviously I grind my coffee before I go. So I had these beans, and I thought, I need to grind these beans. How can I grind the beans? I've got no grinder. So this is what I came up with. So I went and found a couple of rocks, I went and got my bag from my tent pegs. Obviously tent pegs weren't in there at the time because the tent was up. And obviously you don't want to use it that way, because you put your tent pegs back in there when it's all, you're finished and you got dirt and God knows what, and animal feces, God knows what. So you can turn it inside out. Alternatively, you can find yourself some sort of little canvas bag or whatever. I normally keep a couple of clothes pegs and a washing line in this one, but you could use that. But turn that inside out. This is what I actually did to grind the beans. So turn that inside out, poured the beans into it, and just put it on the rock and just basically beat the hell out of it. It's exactly the same as grinding. There you go. So you could go a little bit more if you want to. But as you can see, that's ground up, mashed up. If you carry an hammer with your tent pegs, you could use your little hammer. But that's basically ground up. You could go a bit more if you want. Now you can actually see what you're doing. Bear in mind I haven't got this piece of kitchen roll with me. But yeah, so Glenn very kindly bought me these beans back, and I took them on the trip, and that's how I ground them. I did put them into my French press inside there, boiled the water up, obviously, and drunk it. And Glenn, I must say, mate, they were absolutely shit. Oh, they were terrible. No, I really appreciate you bringing some back and letting me try them. And yeah, I suppose when you're in Vietnam, do what the Vietnamese do. But no, I didn't enjoy them at all, mate. I don't know if it was the thought of like they'd been putting an animal and shit out the other side. But this is the cat. This is the actual cat here. And they're really, really sought after. But yeah, I thought I'd try it, but no, not for me. I'll stick with my Italian espresso beans. But alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my actual coffee machine that I use at work. This, obviously my tools for work are Makita, and this is a Makita coffee machine. So I'm going to fill it up and I'm going to show you. I mean, you can't take this, well you can if you want to. You get probably 3 cups of coffee out of a battery, 6 amp battery, so you've got to carry a few batteries around with you to that. It's pointless. But while I'm at work and there's no power on the sites or you're working away, I just put the coffee machine on, and it's got its own little filter pod. Put that in there, you get your own nice little Makita cup, put it in there, water in the top. Not as this has anything to do with motorcycle camping. As I say, it's about 250mm square, 120mm wide. It's not a bad little unit, but I've turned it on. I've put the coffee inside there, put the water in, comes with a little spoon. It's not practical for camping. For reasons being the battery. As I say, you'll get 3 cups out of that one battery, and then you've got to charge the battery, and you can't really charge the battery when you're out camping. Well, you can if you've got like an inverter and solar and God knows what, but this is motorcycle camping. Motorcycle camping, coffee connoisseur. As I say, my little French press, it works great. This was $10, as I say. So instant coffee, ground coffee, grind it before you go. If you've got some beans, it's easy enough to just smash them to pieces, make yourself a coffee. The other thing, if you've not got, someone for instance gives you coffee beans, you can grind them like that, crush them up, and then you could actually use a cloth, a sock or something, or even a piece of kitchen paper. By folding that over a couple of times, put that on top of your cup, like so. put that on top of your cup like so, pour it in there. I reckon you could pour water over that and that would become a filter and you'd get yourself a coffee out of that anyway. I don't think the paper towel, especially something like that, that would work fine. Put your coffee on it, inside it. Yeah, basically you're making yourself a coffee bag filter. There you go guys, happy coffees. Just let me know if you've got any ideas on, you know, the way you make your coffee, how you take your coffee, whether you actually drink coffee or not bother while you're out camping. Let me know. Thanks guys, fantastic.